Hello everybody, sorry that was a bit arrogant wasn't it? Today I'm going to give you a hashtag throwback first aid video. This is where I upload a video from my past that I've never released before, or I talk about something else to do with my past. Today I'm going to talk about the time I met Salmond, who was, at the time, the First Minister of Scotland. The thing was, when I was making this video, I was trying to be very conscious of the fact that it was the run-up to the Scottish independence referendum. That was the reason why we were meeting him in the first place, and there had been a lot of arguments about it. I should know, I had been in a few of them myself. So I tried to make a video that would appeal to both yes voters and no voters in the hope that it would avoid provoking a backlash from trolls or some heavy arguments down in the comment section. And I suppose being someone who sat on the fence did help me out in a way. The other thing I should mention is the original video insert that I'm about to show you was recorded in September 2014, just before the actual referendum. But it's only now, in August 2015, that I'm finally releasing this video to you all. I know that there are many arguments, either rightly or wrongly, that still take place about Scottish independence, and many more will be had after this video. In any case, I thought today might be a good time to release the video, now that the dust has finally settled. Or at least, it has for now. I hope you like. Hi guys, so there are some things that I keep secret and some things that I mean to tell you but just forget to, and I think this is one of those things. On the 30th of April 2014 I met Scottish First Minister Salmond, and most of the Scottish Government Cabinet for that matter. I can see a lot of people around the rest of the world right now going, who? But hey, he's a big deal to us, alright? Anyway, here's what happened. As you may or may not know, on the 18th of September, the people of Scotland are going to vote on whether to become an independent country or to stay within the United Kingdom. The thing about the Scottish independence referendum is I've been trying to keep an open mind throughout the whole thing, or I'm undecided, if you prefer it. And to give you an indication of just how decided I am, this is my postal vote. I got that on Tuesday. It's now Friday and I still haven't opened the envelope, which shows you just how certain I really am. But I know I'm going to have to make a decision. By the time you see this, I probably will have decided how to vote. The Scottish Government, currently led by the SNP, is advocating for Scotland to leave the United Kingdom, and as part of that, they were doing a tour promoting this book called Scotland's Future. It illustrates what sort of thing the SNP might do if Scotland gains independence. So the cabinet members came along to Stornoway in the Outer Hebrides to hold a public meeting there. I should explain at this point, I was doing voluntary work at a local community newspaper called Am Pàipear. My editor turned to me and he said, "How would you like to go there and ask the First Minister a question?" And I went, "Shut up. Really?" "Yes, really." So I went on a little road trip with my editor, Ian C. Morrison, and the production assistant, Alison McPhee, up to Stornoway. And Ian was kind enough to actually produce this red booklet, a programme of what was to come. It had a schedule in it, and a place to keep all the papers from the meeting. It's just brilliant. I really appreciate that. And while we're travelling on the way there, Ian and Alison are busy talking to each other, music's on in the background, and I think to myself, hey, why don't I vlog while we're on the way there? So I asked them to turn the music down, and they stopped talking, and I speak to camera, and it was so awkward. Hi guys, so we're currently in the car whizzing up Isle of Lewis, heading towards Stornoway. I quite like going on long car journeys like this, looking out the window and enjoying the view. Although maybe not so much today because it's raining a bit. I got up at 5:15 this morning. It's a long journey from where I live. Fortunately I'm a morning person, so that was alright. And in any case, I quite like going on journeys early in the morning anyway. I always find them exciting. There's something about the beginning of a journey. I always think of it in film voice, the beginning of a journey. It's going to be quite a day today. I've no idea what to expect. I've been told we just sort of have to play it by ear, so we'll just see how it goes. I'm so sorry about that. I don't think I'm ever going to be doing that again. Anyway, the First Minister's there to officially open a new media centre for MG Alaba. It's a long story. And the Scottish Cabinet are holding a meeting in that building. So that's the first time I get to see the Scottish First Minister in person, and it feels very strange. It was a very strange experience to actually see him there, to know he's a real person who talks to real people. As Ian and I went into the town hall for the meeting, where there was a section reserved for journalists, we were both given one of these, a V-card. Make of that what you will. So we're now here at Stornoway Town Hall, where they're about to have a public meeting with the Scottish Cabinet, and because we're members of the press, we got to go up to this gallery above the main stage. This is the view from the balcony where we're sitting. And it just makes me feel so powerful. I was not expecting this, to be honest. It's a beautiful place, though. So the meeting happened, the cabinet members made their speeches and answered questions from the audience, and it all seemed to run along smoothly, I guess, apart from the fact it was very late, but then again, that's to be expected with politicians. And so I and Ian and a few other journalists were led into a back room to allow us to speak to the First Minister himself. Now, there were only 5 of us in the room, and we did have to wait a long time before he could come along and speak to us. I thought it was pretty cool that my local MP, Angus MacLeod, just casually strolls in and talks to the other journalists as we're waiting. And then, eventually, the First Minister himself showed up, and all the journalists took turns answering questions. Well, actually, we'd not been allocated turns, so I didn't know when was a good time to ask my own question. The issue of depopulation and unbalanced demographics in the Outer Hebrides was mentioned in the meeting several times, particularly in the Outer Hebrides. So, as an 18-year-old Outer Hebrides resident, I would like to know, how could independence really help to reverse this trend of population decline amongst young people and keep young people here? Oh, I still don't like hearing the sound of my own voice. I hope that question made sense anyway, because while the populations remained relatively steady, there are more older people here and fewer younger people living in the islands. And this was the answer he gave me.
We now have the ability, if people so wish, to pursue university education in these islands. That's hugely important because, as you know, the process by which many people went to university and then didn't come back to the islands was something which, for those who wanted to pursue that level of education in their own community, was an important offer to be made, and that has been done. But the key to people coming is opportunity. And the opportunity requires 3 things. 1, it requires modern communications. So that means that businesses can locate here. Secondly, is to use the natural resources of these islands. So that means the resources of the islands can be used to promote the sort of employment that allows people the career opportunities to stay in the islands. So, to reverse depopulation, you have to create economic opportunity. That is what depopulation is about. It's a loss of economic opportunity. What you try to stop is people who've got no option but to move because of career opportunities. Now, if you could pursue a career opportunity at a good level, a skilled level, if you're a craftsman, where else would you want to pursue it in this environment?
Hi there, so I've just met the Scottish First Minister. Gosh, that sounds really weird to say. It was a bit like meeting the cast members of a really big TV show, except of course that TV show is the news and the cast members are politicians designed to represent us, the Scottish people. So that added a whole new dimension to it. And I had a brief chat with him about what I was going to do for work and sort of about what I was going to do after school to find work, whether it would be here or not, He obviously made direct eye contact with me when he was answering this question that I put to him, but that was such a surreal experience. Don't know what to make of it all, but it was amazing. Afterwards I was thinking, should I, shouldn't I, but then in the end I decided yes, actually I should, and then asked to have a picture taken with the First Minister. I asked one of his aides to hold onto the camera I normally use for filming to take the pictures, and it's only in retrospect that I realised it's probably just as well I have this camera, because if I had tried to do this with my phone, we would have been looking down the eyes of this, and then my face would have gone as red as that St George's Cross. By the way, this is in no way indicative of my views in the Scottish independence referendum. No, seriously, stop making that face at me. But yeah, thank you to the First Minister for putting up with me for 5 minutes of his life. He's never going to get back. And I must say it's great that more than 4.2 million people have registered to vote in the referendum. I think that illustrates just how big the political engagement with this matter is in Scotland, and I'm so glad that so many people have been getting involved in the debate. I think it's a very important one to have. Thank you so much to Ian and Alison for taking me on a great journey, not just with the road trip up to Stornoway, but also generally in my time at Am Pàipear and all the time I've contributed articles, proofread, transcribed, just talked and all the rest of it. You've been excellent company. And I'm sorry I didn't friend you on Facebook sooner. I think I'll try and keep in touch with you and let you know how I'm getting on. Also, thank you to Hector, Kirsty, Nicola, Gemma and everybody else in the Am Pàipear building for supporting me along the way. Bye for now. Shut up. Really?